And welcome back to the Arizona Cardinals franchise rebuild. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. I hope you're all having a great day. Please leave a like, comment down below what you thought of today's action, and don't forget to subscribe. So, if you guys are new to this series and new to the channel, well, welcome. My name is Lar. I do a lot of Madden content, as you guys should be able to see. And in this rebuild, we're doing a 20-year rebuild of the Cardinals, where we're gonna start with an off season, and then we're gonna go through the regular season. Sometimes we're gonna go quickly, sometimes we're gonna take our time, and very surprisingly, we had a 12-5 season here in year one. We went 12-5. We won the division. I think we also won a playoff game as well. It was very remarkable, to say the least. I mean, for the Cardinals, we were the number 2 seed. We beat the 7th seed and then lost to the third seed in the Lions. But it was remarkable that we got to this point in time due to the fact that I really didn't expect that this team would be able to take such a massive leap. And now my expectations are much higher. But there's definitely, of course, a pause for concern that maybe this was just a one-year wonder. Maybe we kind of just hit the luck of the roll, as one would say. But currently, looking at the roster, the decision on Kyler Murray, I think he has definitely earned to keep his job for another season. 31 touchdowns to 22 interceptions. He led us to the postseason. He had a 69 completion percentage, which is nice. He had the most passing yards per game in his career. And, over the next 2 seasons, his cap does go down. It is at his peak right now. And I think giving him one more season does make a whole lot of sense for us. A year ago, Michael Wilson here, who played primarily out of the slot, led the league in receiving yards. He was a do-it-all receiver, and it was very much a surprise. He went from star all the way up to X Factor with a 1,400 yards and 16 scores. We'll see if he can continue this production. It would be great to start off this franchise, this 20-year rebuild, with 2 very young, talented receivers. In the offseason, in year 1, we brought in Elijah Moore. We also drafted Daniel Johnson here, who's so far developing pretty nicely. Nothing huge from our rookie class in year 1. I primarily focused on, providing future players to this team. And this is eminent by our first round pick in Blake Sherwood, 23-year-old tackle now, who will become one of our starting offensive linemen during this up and coming season in this episode here. So where will he play? Maybe at left guard. Regardless, we have an aging line from Evan Brown to Will Hernandez, Trent Brown. All these guys are getting older, and it's something that I will want to address again in this draft class. Defensively, we have a little bit more holes, and I think this defense played much better than it really looks. But we traded for Brian Perceive here, a young defensive tackle. And I think we have to consider picking up his 5th-year option. He went down with an injury, so he doesn't have a lot of production with us. This past season, he only played in 10 games. So Brian Perceive has to prove himself. I don't know if I'm going to give him the 5th-year option just yet. Marcus Davenport is a potential free agent. Mike Haynes here, he was actually in free agency who we picked up. And, he needs a new contract, and going from undrafted 77 overall, he is a young key piece for our defense to consider bringing back to this team. At the end of the day, guys, we need to continue trying to get younger. We need to continue trying to add more talent. I think this secondary could use some more. This defensive line could. Even this linebacking room. Offensively, getting younger at the offensive line, and potentially adding a new running back to the mix because James Conner has retired. So let's get to the re-signing phase, and let's have some fun here this year 2 of the Cardinals. And here are the decisions that we have to make. We have Paris Johnson here, Brian Perceive, both needing decision on 5th-year options. Marcus Davenport, Mike Haynes here, Jonah Williams, James Davis. You know, we have a couple role players to depth players as well. Blake here, our starting punter. I don't know how good he played a year ago. Let's see. Yeah, we'll give Blake this 1-year contract. Definitely would like to keep him around. Let's give him a 3-year deal. And he re-signed. So we keep our punter. Let's make that easy decision. In terms of everyone else down here, you know, Derek Carr, Michael Neese, DJ Jones, Xavier Woods, all these guys I'm going to be letting test. Tart here, I might try to bring back. I don't know just yet. Mike Haynes here, I really don't want him to hit free agency. But a 4-year, $10 million. This is tough. I'm going to try to bring it down, not try to super low ball him, but I'm going to bring this contract down to a 4-year, 32, and he wants to play for a new team next year. Might be dropping the ball on this, but $23 million for an outside edge right end. It's $23 million. I don't know just yet how much money we really are going to need, but I'm going to do this. Keeping him around for another season. We'll go into free agency with $37 million. We're not going to accept here for Brian Perceive. And then for Paris Johnson, I am going to. An important position at left tackle. So let's go into free agency with $37-ish million. Maybe there's some room to open up some cap, but I don't think we should let Mike Haynes leave the door. Okay, after some wheeling and dealing, we're starting today's episode trading away 3 depth players in Stills, Ojulari, and Thomas for the 100th pick in this year's draft class. Kind of loading up on some late round picks, trying to get this team to be younger. And we freed up enough money to have $42 million to open here in free agency. Kendall Fuller, Shakir here, Dallas Goddard's out here, Taylor Moton. So some quality linemen, Tyler Algier as well, as we don't have a lot of money, but there are definitely some players that I want to target here, some bigger names, at least just to improve the team. So I got 5 moves to make here. Rashad White here, new starting running back, or at least a good rotation at running back. DJ Reed, solid defensive tackle, beef up this defensive line. Brian Cook to help out the secondary. Try to bring back Marcus Davenport. I think he's a quality run stopper for us. And then Tart here is just quality depth. So let's evaluate. I always do this. So let's evaluate here. A lot of these guys have interest in us. And 4 decide. White signs, Cook signs, and Davenport signs. And it looks like we lost out on the defensive tackle and DJ Reader. He goes to the Saints. That's kind of a big loss for us. He could have been a quality backup to just kind of number 2 defensive tackle. But Jalen Petrie's still out there, Algier. But we did bring in Cook, so Petrie kind of gets off my radar. I don't know if there's going to be any other moves. I'll check defensive tackle again, but I think free agency will be pretty quick here. So I have sent out 2 more contracts here, and Jonathan Jones and Michael Pierce, just 2 solid veterans that also have the mentor tag. And we did bring back Tart, and Davenport comes back as well. So the last one is Jones, who needs to make a decision. We also got Michael Pierce. So we've added some defensive depth, really. And right before the draft, this is the current state of the team. So we brought in Rashid White and Trey Benson. This will be now the new duo at running back. You know, we're 4 deep at receiver. We have a great tight end, and an aging line, really. I think for this offense, it's mainly maybe getting a solid backup young quarterback and drafting some linemen to help inject some youth in this team, because all of these guys I think are entering into either their last year or they might have another season. For this defense here, I think trying to help out this secondary. Sean Martin Bunting, he's getting older. Williams here is our best young player on this defense, in my opinion. But it's going to need a little bit more to help out this secondary a bit. And maybe inside linebacker, we have 4 starting caliber linemen or linebackers, but still. And then maybe some more defensive line depth. Overall, I think it's mainly this secondary and getting younger at this offensive line. And before we enter into the draft, this is my current favorite board. As you guys can see, I have a couple top 5 players. And as you guys can see, these are my 3 focus players here. And I'm really interested in these corners. All of them are first round picks, but Curtis Winfield here, he is the best corner in the draft. He's a top 5 talent, elite speed 4.29 and 4.25. Wow. Is this a player that's worth kind of trying to trade up to go get? Potentially for this team, because I do think that we need, a significant upgrade in the secondary. In terms of everyone else, I looked at offensive linemen, looked at a couple quarterbacks just in case, just trying to do my due diligence. There's also this 6'4" corner in Tommy Trumbull here. So we could go after a big physical guy later in the class. I do think he has like a brother in here, in my opinion. I think they have the same last name. It'll be very funny if they don't. And they do. Okay, yeah. 2 brothers in this class. So do we try to go for the 2 brothers? Both of them are secondary players. They could be quality starters potentially. We'll see. We have the 27th overall pick, so let's hop into the draft. Trying to add some more young talent as we went. We have the 27th pick. And when do I think Winfield will go? I haven't looked at any of the mock drafts. Well, Winfield is a top 10 prospect, so I expect him to go pretty early. Let's see if anything, let's see what occurs. Let's look at the first. I'm not going to trade into like the top 10 most likely. But first pick is Andrew Stewart, the big time left tackle. The Bears here will go Evan Washington, a pass rusher, helping out the defensive line. I think another pass rusher just went. And now the Giants are on the clock. We have their pick. They go with another pass rusher. So now it's kind of a little bit of a run on edge. Here comes the Pittsburgh Steelers with AK Curtis Winfield. I think he's the only player that I'm willing to trade up for. So some notable names, another corner in Luther Webster, he went. So corner kind of is falling apart here. In terms of anyone other big name players that I can remember off the top of my head, I can't. So I think there was really one player that's off my board that I would have considered here. All the quarterbacks here are, all the top 5 quarterbacks here are still on the board, even here at pick 27. Is it worth considering drafting one of them here? But I don't think with the 27th pick I'm going to go in that direction. Let's see what we can do. You know what? I am going to be going with a corner, Tommy Brumble. He's the 6'4" corner. He has a brother in this class. A-man, B-zone, B-press, elite speed. 6'4". Welcome to the Cardinals here. And he is the 2nd ranked player in this class. 95 speed, hidden developments. Wow. It feels good hitting on a draft pick. I feel like in all my series, really, I have not been drafting particularly well. So here at 27, we go corner. As we've made it to the 2nd round now, both quarterbacks, or 2 out of the 3 quarterbacks are still available. This now kind of intrigues me if I should consider drafting one here. We're late second round. Steven Jackson here. Great throw power. Not a decent athlete. And his, at least in terms of passing number or his arm talent is good. That is what I'm trying to say here. So Steven Jackson, he could be an interesting prospect. Sammy Leonard here. Again, his passing or his arm looks good. Great throw power as well. But we know his medium coverage. Do we think Steven Jackson would have a medium instead of a B? I don't know. I would say I would lean in favor of Sammy Leonard just because of his age. But let's see if there's another prospect here that I would consider. So currently my dilemma here is this middle talent right here as I'm scrolling is not elite in my opinion. And for us, I think it makes sense to go either backup quarterback here in Sammy Leonard or draft the other brother here in Brumble here, who we do need a free safety. He is fast, and it looks like he can do a little bit of everything. Marcus Brumble here. Oh my God, do we draft him or the backup quarterback? Do I think that they would make it to our next pick? That's truly the dilemma here. You know what? No, we're gonna go with Marcus Brumble here, due to the fact that we need to inject this defense with some very good talent. And Brumble here is a top 6 player in this class, 90 speed, hidden development. We go with the two brothers here, and we improve this secondary massively. Well, they fell. The two quarterbacks, the two top 5 prospects have fallen, ranked 2 and 4, and we're gonna be taking Sammy Leonard here with our pick. I'm not gonna let these guys fall any further. He will be the selection. We get a little story. He's ranked 84. We got him at 91, so we got good value for him. Normal development, 93 throw power. So Sammy Leonard could be a solid backup, potential future starter. Here in the 4th round, Brian Stevens will be the selection, a 24-year-old pass rusher. Want to help out this side of the football, helping out the trenches. We got him at his true value as well. 78 strength, not in love with that. Might be more of an edge rusher than anything. And I got 2 favorites on my board and a lot more selections to make. CJ Foster, a quarterback, and Nick Thompson here, a fullback. And we're here in the 4th round, guys, and I guess I didn't do enough scouting. So I think I'm gonna jumble up some of these picks, get some future capital, and then we're gonna take some just Hail Mary shots. So we have made a trade with the New York Giants, turning away our next 3 selections for next year's 4th, and we get a 7th round pick back. We have 4 7th round picks, so let's take some Hail Mary shots on this team. Drafting the fullback Nick Thompson here. Always love drafting fullbacks in this franchise, and he is ranked 3rd in this class, and he has hidden development. So we just hit a home run on a fullback here in the 7th round. I think we're starting off pretty good. We're gonna take a run blocking tight end here, Zach Robinson, and bad selection on my end. We're gonna take Randy Moore here, a defensive tackle, and again, not a good selection on my end. Back-to-back picks. And then we're gonna finish off with an offensive lineman, Jamie Mobley here. Just another bad pick. I did not, I entered into this draft class wanting more offensive line help than I really got. I thought some more linemen would have fallen into like the 4th-ish round, and fortunately I never prioritized it, but I did prioritize the secondary, and we hit big. Timmy here is a 78 overall, 78 and with hidden development, 82 man coverage, 77 zone. Day 1, he's our number 2 corner right now. And then Marcus here, is also hidden dev, 77 overall. He has good hit power to start off, 80 zone coverage. We're gonna start 2 rookies this year in the secondary. Maybe one of them could have a potential breakout. Sammy Leonard, he was just too good to pass up. This would have been probably a good spot to consider drafting a lineman, but I went quarterback instead. I thought the lineman would fall, but Sammy here was just too good of a prospect for me to pass. And Brian Stevens here, a pass rusher, and he's a pure pass rusher. He will rush the quarterback a lot throughout his career. He's 24 years old. I don't know how long he'll be here in the franchise. We got a 78 overall fullback, as he also has hidden dev, Nick Thompson here. Already a top 5 fullback in the league. Love to see that. And then I hit on no picks at the end. All of them are 60 overall or 61, so. But we got 5 70 pluses, 2 78s, and 1 77. So I think, barring the last 3 picks, we had a fantastic draft class for us. We got younger, and yeah, if Curtis Winfield would have fallen, I would have traded up to go get him, but he didn't. Excellent talent, 81 overall. But as you guys can see, Tommy here, or Timmy, Nick, Marcus, you know, we drafted these 3 guys, and you know, sure, we missed on some other players, but hey, I think we did very well. Curtis here is the best player in the class at an 81 overall. And yeah, rightfully so, great speed. But that injury rating is so low here for the Pittsburgh Steelers. How will he handle? So let's get into year 2. Let's do some simulating and let's have some fun. As we're just about to play some football here in year 2, we have Kyler Murray trying to prove himself to be, you know, longer than just a couple seasons with this team. We gave him Rashad White here, Trey Benson. You know, he has 2 X-Factor receivers in Wilson, Harris. Zachary Moore looks to play a little bit more early on, as Elijah Moore is out this week, and Moore's our 3rd receiver. Trey McBride here, starting tight end. And yeah, we're going to go with 2nd-year tackle-guard Blake Sherwood, 1st-round pick from a season ago. For our defense, we mainly changed up the secondary, bringing in 2 young brothers here to hopefully help fix this a little bit here. We have, you know, Marcus Davenport and Brian Perceived to help out with this defensive line. Mike Haynes was franchise tag. We have still Buda Baker on this team. You know, we went 12-5 a season ago. Let's go out there. Let's continue this dominance. Let's continue getting victories here. And we will start with one, beating the Las Vegas Raiders 28-20 here. Let's do another one here versus the LA Rams now. I think we beat them again, or we won again. We beat them 31-10. So a good start here in year 2. Expected to have $136 million. Michael Wilson needs a new deal. Brian Perceives, Xavier Collins, Mac Wilson, Sean Martin Bunting. We have a lot of solid starters. We have a lot of players needing new contracts this year. This is gonna be a lot for us, and this will take away a lot of our capital, but not gonna do anything about that just yet. I'm gonna sim a couple more weeks and we'll check back in with this team. And so far in this early campaign, we're 3-2, 5 weeks into the season. We now face off against the Chiefs. We're not having the same start. We're 2nd place in the division. It looks like, though, we can just play solid. We could, you know, get there. Kyler Murray right now, 5 touchdowns, 1 pick. So far, so good. We have Sammy Leonard, future starter potentially. Rashad White here leads the way in rushing, almost 200 yards rushing. Happy to see that. And a couple rushing touchdown here and there. Marvin Harrison Jr. leads us the way. No one over multiple scores, but we're seeing this offense rely on the playmakers that I expect to play a lot. And it looks like this offensive line is starting off to struggle early on in this season. Could this be the reason why we're not off to a hot start? Defensively, we're not getting that much pressure on the quarterback. And we have so far 2 interceptions. That's not enough here. So 28th ranked offense. In terms of defense here, probably ranked 20th. But we have the Kansas City Chiefs. Can we beat the Chiefs? Get back on track before the bye week? If we can, that would be huge. And we fall to them, falling to 3-3. So, not off to the start that I was expecting. Let's sim a couple more weeks. Let's sim to week 9. As currently, the Arizona Cardinals are 3-4 now after losing to the Lions. And now we play against the best team in the division. We're 5-2. We are also at the trade deadline, which sucks because I think I would have ultimately made more decisions on trading players if I know the outcome of this ball game in particular. We have cap room, and we have a lot of players that need new contracts. One of them that I want to definitely get out of the way here is Michael Wilson. This is a bargain, and I'm going to extend him. 5 years, $50 million. He's an excellent number 2. Happy to keep him around. I think another player here that's important to this team is Zaven Collins. So actually, I'm going to give him a 4-year deal, and Collins extends. He's a very good playmaker for our defense. Mac Wilson, I think we could do better. Brian Perceive right now, he has no interest in returning, and this might have to be a kind of like a franchise tag ordeal, potentially. Sean Martin-Bunting is the backup. Grant Williams here, he's a key starter. This is also a bargain to keep him. So a 5 years, $36 million. We have our 1 and 2 corners. Mike Haynes, this is a deal that I want to work on. And then we have the 4 out of our 5 starting offensive linemen, a couple safeties, Marcus Davenport. But I want to get this contract done here with Mike Haynes. I'm going to give him a 4-year, $38 million. So the second-year edge rusher gets a big contract with us. But I think for everyone else, we'll make moves during the offseason. And we have 2 fifth-year options to decide on with Marvin Harrison Jr. and Darian Robinson. So, big test for us here in week 9. Can we get past this Seattle team, get back to 500, and get this season back on our side? And we do. We beat the Seahawks pretty handsomely, 49-10. So, I decided not to make any trades. I decided to just focus on re-signing players, and re-signing, I guess, paying the team helped. As now we have the San Francisco 49ers, who are very bad, 1-7, very much regressing in this franchise, as we're trying to pick up a quick, easy victory to get back to above 500, but we fall here to the 49ers, and you know, we're the 9th seed right now, and the only way to win this, to get into back to the postseason, is to win this division, I think. It's going to be tough sledding. So I'm going to sim the next couple weeks and see how far we can get. Well, we're coming off a straight back-to-back losses here as we make it all the way to week 14. We're 5-7, not the best, but this division sucks. And Seattle's 6-6. This is the only path right now that I can see. Maybe the 7th seed if we can go on a little bit of a run, but we're currently losing games. We're far behind. What has happened to this campaign with this team? And it looks to be Kyler Murray. And I think we have our answer. I think we're going to go to Sammy Leonard here moving forward. Murray is putting good yards on the ground, but it's not enough. And he's not helping out these receivers whatsoever. So, and this line is giving up a lot of sacks. This defense isn't doing much of anything. So, you know, not even the rookie, both rookie brothers have picks, but Timmy does. So I think we're going to go to Sammy Leonard here for the rest of the season. We have a chance to make the postseason, but I'm going to give the rookie an opportunity. So benching our supposed to be franchise quarterback for a third round rookie. Will he be able to beat the Buffalo Bills in prime time? Of course, we're going to put him out and throw him into the deep end, and he loses 35-23. Fought a 5-8 here, and you know, and probably the last, we're 5-3 now. Seattle continues to lose as well, so I'm gonna sit one more week with you guys. If we can beat the Rams, maybe we have a chance. I don't know. We lost. It's been a losing streak for us. Seattle continues to lose, but I think the remaining 2 games I'm gonna sim. I think this season's over, and I want to just get some youth out there. And here in year 2, well, we fell all the way from 12-5, or from 12-5 to now 5-12. We have fallen way down. We went on a massive losing streak at the end of this campaign. You know, we started off the year pretty well, you know, winning our first 2 weeks. I mean, the first month of the season, we were 3-1. Went on a little losing streak, traded wins back and forth, and then we lost the rest of the way. It's unfortunate that this occurred. You know, right around here at the Bills, we started the rookie. Didn't pick up his first victory, but, you know, I just felt that Kyler was just not providing for us. And in 5 games, I mean, Sammy Leonard threw 5 touchdowns, 6 picks. I mean, not bad for, you know, a third-round rookie quarterback that, you know, is not really kind of built for our offense either, but not so bad. In terms of rushing, Rashad White led us the way with 519, 5 scores. Daniel Johnson here added 3 on the ground. Saw Samuel ran 1 in. Trey Benson scored 8 times. That's nice to see. No 1,000-yard receiver. Michael Wilson dropped almost 1,000 yards. Our receivers did not. I mean, it's just our quarterback play. I mean, if our quarterback play was better, we would have been better. At the end of the day, it's on Kyler Murray, and I know these sack numbers aren't the best, but Blake here only allowed 5 his first time starting all 17 games. And, you know, I'm blaming at least these 3 guys letting out a lot of sacks because of Murray. Defensively, Mac Wilson led us the way in tackles. TFL, Mike Haynes, Marcus Davenport, and Darius Robinson each had 7. And our defense didn't play great either. Xavier Collins only 3 sacks. Tart had 3. We did not get enough pressure whatsoever. And in terms of interceptions, yeah, our top 2 guys got 5 in total, but that's not enough to really do much of anything. So 32nd ranked offense with the 20th ranked defense. Our defense surprisingly played better than our offense. Patrick Mahomes is your MVP. Nick Sirianni is the coach of the year. Let's see if there's any Cardinals here. Nothing in terms of offense. Defense, we had 4. Definitely not quarterback. Running back, I don't think so. I don't think yet, no. Receiver, definitely not. Offensive line, yeah, I'm not expecting much of anything. So year 2 is a quickie. Did not expect that whatsoever, and that sounded more sexual than I meant it to be. Looking at the Pro Bowl, I'm not expecting to see much of anyone here, and nothing so far with the offense. Nothing in terms of the offense, and it's probably going to be the same thing here for the defense. Nothing here for the defensive line. Nothing here for the linebackers. Nothing here for the corners. Safeties, so no Pro Bowlers this year. We were bad. Well, we got a rematch from the first Super Bowl in this franchise, and the Philadelphia Eagles win again, beating the Chiefs 42-31. And yeah, our team did not live up to anything that I expected from them. We went 5-12, and now we're ending today's episode just with a bitter taste in our mouths. I mean, change is about to come here for this team, as we find out our fullback is a superstar. That's fantastic. I mean, I love to see that. I mean, at the end of the day, I really do. Kyler Murray. This will be the major question. And we would free up about $10 million if we move off of Murray. He is also an 82 overall, and could we potentially get a draft pick for him? We are going to be drafting high in this draft, and Kyler could be also on the move. As Sammy Leonard, could he be the future at quarterback? 6 foot, 93 throw power. His accuracy ratings are all pretty solid. He's an okay athlete. I mean, could Sammy be the future at quarterback? Do we go into this offseason saying to ourselves, you know what, we need to improve, this receiving room at all? We know that these 5 offensive linemen are all free agents now, and what are we going to do with them? Are we going to try to re-sign any of them, or are we going to try to rebuild this whole offensive line here? In theory, we have 2 out of the 5, so maybe we sit here and say Trent Brown and Forhold could be, 2 solid starters to keep it around, move off of Evan Brown and Will Hernandez, and just find one more lineman. I don't know. And then defensively, we have now young players in this secondary. We have Budda Baker, we have Garrett Williams. We see both of the rookies are star development, and we have some defensive line depth, but we're gonna need to kind of patch things up. What do we do here at inside linebacker? Is Tyrone Duval here really ready to be a full-time starting linebacker? So I think there's a little bit more answers or questions to our offensive and defensive line and even linebackers. And what do we do with Kyler Murray? And that will be next time, ladies and gentlemen. I know that this series is different. I know this series is not something that I'm super accompanied to recording, and it is it's a test for me. I'm testing if I really like doing a rebuild like this. That's why I'm going to be doing this 18 more times after today. So guys, if you did enjoy today's action, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and don't forget to like the video. And if we won 2 more or 3 more football games, we could have won this very bad division. I'll leave it at that. Guys, I hope you have a great day. I'll see you in the next one.